All right, so we are recording. Again, thank you guys so much for taking the time to come on and listen. I know that I've interacted with some of you and others I haven't yet, and so I'm just excited to share kind of what this whole thing is about. So what I'm going to do is go through, I'm going to explain kind of where this whole coaching thing came from, like how did this concept come to be. I'll share a bit of my story, and then I'll just go through really the basic kind of things that I know everybody wonders about when they're considering this whole coaching thing, because it was the same things I was wondering about. My vow is always to be super honest. And so you can ask me pretty much anything. I'll be very honest with you. I won't sugarcoat things, and I definitely won't try to sell you on anything. My hope is just that you get to get an honest feel for what this really is about. And I know how much it's changed my reality and really broken me through in a lot of areas that I needed breakthrough. And so that's why I'm just really fearless in sharing about it. I never want to push it on anyone who it's not right for, but I refuse to hold it back, because what if this is the answer to someone else's prayer, just like it was for me? So that's why I do this. So like I said, I'll start by explaining how this whole coaching thing came to be. Let me change my view so I want to see all your pictures. Okay, there we go. So this whole coaching thing, I think it was about 10 years ago. There was this guy named Carl, and he was killing it in the infomercial business, basically. He saw a need. He saw that, most Americans had gym memberships, but yet we still were such an unhealthy country. People were really struggling with obesity, and maybe they were going to the gym, but they had no idea what to actually do at the gym to get results. Or maybe they were working their tails off at the gym, but they didn't know how to handle their nutrition. And so they weren't, still, even though they're shelling out all this money, they weren't getting healthy results. Or just things weren't sustainable. And so he saw that need, and he thought, okay, there's all of these excuses and all these hurdles that people have that are standing between them and being able to sustainably be healthy. So what if we took away the excuses of, like, I can't get a babysitter to get to the gym, or I don't know what to do at the gym, or I can't work out during gym hours because of my work schedule. What if we took away all those barriers and excuses and just provided people with results proven plans to get them there? And so he teamed up with amazing professional trainers and nutritionists to create these programs that were going to show people, these are the workouts you should do on which days. This is how you're going to hit all the different body areas. This is how you're going to make sure that you're not plateauing. This is what you should be eating when you're doing these programs, and to lay it all out for people. And so he was killing it in the infomercial business. People were buying them like hotcakes. If you guys have all heard of programs like P90X and Insanity, they're household names. But what they ran into was that people were buying these programs and putting them on the shelf and never doing them. And I don't know about any of you, but that was 100%, that was my story. I burned Insanity. I burned Insanity from a friend back in like 2009, I think it was. And I tried it maybe 3 times and lasted like 2 days every single time I tried it. And I think that's honestly most people's story. Like, they're just really hard programs, especially to do on your own. And that's what they noticed, was that the people who were sticking through the programs were people who they were going online and doing these chat groups, these, like, I don't remember, back in the day, it was like chat rooms or whatever. And they were basically holding each other accountable. And they were like, these are my updated pictures. I'm struggling today, or I finished, another week, or I finished 30 days. And they were holding each other accountable online. And they took note of this. They were like, the people who have support are the ones who are actually finishing it and obviously getting their results. And so that's how the whole coaching thing came to be. They were more than happy to start compensating people who basically would become that support system, so that people who buy these programs, who really need this help, who need something sustainable that they can do at whatever hours they don't, maybe they can go to the gym, or maybe they want to do it at home, or maybe they're tired of doing cardio and they want to do weightlifting, or they can't handle jumping around and so they need to do Pilates and yoga. They wanted to give an excuse-free or an excuse breaking down system to really get people results, but to also support them through to it. Because obviously they know, like, if we support people and they get their results, they're going to obviously be more likely to talk about it, and then we are going to sell more. And they were happy to compensate people for helping that process happen. But that's how the whole coaching thing came to be. And so I'll kind of share a little bit about my story now. I don't know, those of you who are listening or who are going to be watching this recording, I don't know if you've heard my story or not, but I'll try to go through it kind of quickly, just to kind of show like this is a real life example of how this actually works. So really every coach's story starts way before coaching really starts. For me, and honestly, this is kind of like the magic key to coaching, is that really it's not about health and fitness or nutrition. It's really about like you and your story and your struggles and the kinds of things that you worry about, the kinds of things that you want in life. Like those are actually the things that are going to draw people to you, the things that are important to you. You're not just going to, as a coach, just talk about workouts and nutrition. Like you're going to talk about the things that you're passionate about, and that's what's going to draw people to you to get help with health and fitness. So for my story, that started long time ago, was when I was even really young, like around 9 or 10 was the first time I remember having struggles with anxiety and depression and even suicide. And so my whole life I'd struggled in those areas. But then fast forward to about 4-ish years ago, I had gotten married. Well, I quit college, moved to Africa. I was a missionary living in Sudan. And on the mission field is where I met the man who became my husband. And a couple months after the wedding, he said, "Hey, I'm going out for an errand. I'll be back." And then he never came back. He didn't come back that night. He didn't come back the next morning or the next day or the next day. And it was a couple days later that he called from an airport across the country to let me know this was all a huge mistake and he didn't want to be married to me. And so that immediately triggered my kind of all along struggle, which was anxiety, depression, and suicide. And I became incredibly suicidal immediately. I didn't eat, drink, bathe. I didn't do anything for 3 days. I just sat on my phone and I Googled least painful ways to commit suicide, fastest ways to commit suicide, materials, cheapest materials to use to commit suicide. I was just plotting out my death. And I was so sick. And I thought I was sick because I was obviously really distraught that my husband had left. And turned out a couple of days later, I found out I was sick because I was pregnant. And so immediately for me, things changed. I was in enough pain that I was willing to end my own life just to get out of that pain. But the second I found out someone else was involved, I was like, I don't have the right to take away someone else's destiny. Like if I want to end my own life, that's one thing, but someone else is involved now. I don't get to take away her living out her destiny if she wants to. I didn't know it was a girl at the time, but I now have a daughter. So fast forward, long story short, my family and friends really surrounded me, and somehow I got through that pregnancy, had my baby, and it was a few months after she was born. And I just knew, I had this feeling like, okay, I made it through this big trial, but I've been in this rodeo before. Depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts, if that's just how you learn to cope with things, that's going to come back around. There's going to be something else that's going to hit me, that's going to make me hit those same triggers again. And I just knew if I didn't change something, that someday my daughter was going to have to end up telling a story about how her mom committed suicide. And I knew I had to do something. And I had played sports. I had played college soccer back before I quit college to move to Africa. And I remembered this whole thing about endorphins. Like there were times I would feel like giddy and excited, and my teammates would kind of tease me about, oh, Sophie's hopped up on endorphins. And I was like, okay, so maybe if I just like get active again. I hated working out. I still hate working out. But I thought maybe if I just get active, like it can kind of naturally combat some of this depression stuff that I'm prone to. And so while I was pregnant, I had been kind of like, I don't know, Instagram browsing different hashtags, transformation hashtags. And so at this point, when I remembered this whole endorphin thing, I was like, oh, okay. So I looked through some transformation hashtags on Instagram. I found a couple of girls on there who said like, you can reach out to me for help if you need help. And I reached out to one girl. She was kind of like an Instagram celebrity. I don't know. You guys know those accounts where it's like they have lots and lots of followers. So I reached out to her. I think it was like Herbalife or something. And she didn't ask me any questions. She didn't talk to me. She just sent me a message and said, here, put this in your cart, put this in your cart, put this in your cart, and just sent me links. And I just felt gross. I just felt like I was just a sale. She didn't even know if what she was recommending to me was like what I needed. I don't know. It just felt very impersonal and very sales based. And then at the same time, I was messaging another girl who I found on Instagram, and she said, okay, well, hey, let's get on the phone, because I want to know, like, what is this really about for you? Or is this really about just losing the baby weight? Or like, you know, what's going to keep you doing this on the days when you just want to give up, or you don't want to do it anymore, or it just feels too hard? You know, what part of this process is usually hard for you? Like, she talked to me like a person, and I felt like a person who had a story, and my story mattered as it pertained to me finally getting healthy. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go with her. And at the time, I was living with my parents now. I was on food stamps. I was on WIC. I was just really dependent on government aid. I was working 3 jobs. And I think I went back to work after 4 weeks after I had my baby. And I had like I was 2 weeks overdue. And then I was in labor for 81 hours. Like, I had a horrible, horrible, horrible birth story. I ended up having a C-section, and then went to work for 4 weeks later, back to 3 jobs. And so I was just in a horrible, horrible place. And I did not have money to spare. But I knew, like, this wasn't about 5 pounds. This was about my life. Like, I was literally fighting to get my life back and just my will to live, and just kind of put in a promise that I wasn't going to give up on my daughter having a mom. And so I was like, okay, I don't have any money, but I got to do this long term. And so the lady who I was talking to, named Stephanie, she was like, well, there's this whole coach discount thing you can do. You can sign up as a coach. You don't have to coach, but at least that way you'll save a little bit of money on your Shakeology, because I really needed those nutrients. I had no idea how to eat or get in enough, you know, vegetables and nutrients. And I didn't even know what superfoods were. And so I was like, yeah, I need those long-term, not just for a month. I don't want a fad. I don't want to this is not about a fad for me. This is about my life. So get me on the discount. So I signed up with a coach account just to get the discount. And that's really how it started for me. And I'll fast forward to where I'm at now, and then I'll kind of go back and explain how all that really happened. Fast forward to now. I now only do coaching. That was a personal choice. You don't have to quit your other jobs to be a coach. That was just for me. None of those jobs were like my purpose or my passion. Really, I was just doing those to get by. And so now I'm just full-time coaching. And so one by one, I basically replaced all those 3 other jobs. So I added in coaching as the 4th job, and then replaced them all. And I try to somewhat share openly about this. It's always really weird, but I try to share just so people know, like, this is real. I'm not a superhuman, awesome, I don't know, marketer, but I'm just a regular person. And so now I'm making about $1,000 to $2,000 a week from coaching. Obviously, you can do more, you can do less, but I'm just sharing that with you guys so you kind of have like a real story to go off of. And let's see, is there anything else? Oh, obviously I'm off of government aid. I cannot tell you how amazing that moment was when the lady from the WIC office, which if you don't know what WIC is, it's like they give you basically free foods of certain types so that to make sure that you and your kid are getting enough nutrients. And she called to say, hey, okay, just wanted to schedule your appointment to come in and basically renew your allowance or whatever with WIC. And to tell her on the phone, I am so thankful for you guys stepping in when I needed it most. I was at my worst place, and I cannot thank you enough for helping me, but I won't be needing your assistance anymore. I'm okay. My situation has changed, and I don't need the help anymore. And like, I'm tearing up now because that was such a simple moment, but to me it was everything to be able to get off of that and just hand it back to someone else who needs it. So yeah, I'm not on that anymore. Not on depression meds, although I don't have anything against depression meds. If I ever needed to go on them, I totally believe God can use medicine. But I've kind of found a system now with exercising and the food God made and community that's kind of turned into that antidepressant for me. But again, I don't have anything against it. I'm just sharing my reality as it is right now. And I get to travel a ton. I mean, we'll go into all of that. But so yeah, that's a fast forward to now. So what I want to kind of pull out from my real life story about coaching and how this whole thing really works, there's a lot of ways you can do coaching. You can look around at different coaches and people kind of spin it different ways. I will just speak on what I'm really passionate about and how it's worked for me. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a pushy person. Every good decision I've ever made has been because it was deeply rooted in my heart to do it. And so that's what I want for the people who choose to, have me help them with their health journey. The same for people who want to become a coach. I never feel like I'm pushing anything on anyone, because I'm literally just working on myself, letting it be seen by other people's eyes, sharing about it, sharing about my brokenness authentically, and letting that kind of attract people to it. And so honestly, if you wanted to know, like, what does it take to become a successful coach, it really is just like, are you willing to share your journey, whatever that is? You don't have to have a super rockin' body. You don't have to, you don't have to have lost 100 pounds. Really, the point is more just that wherever you are, you share about that authentically. We all have different people that we're going to attract. Basically who you are, that's your market. So if you're a mom of 5 kids, you're going to probably have a special place in the market of connecting to other moms of multiple kids who need that inspiration to see that even after 5 kids or after 3 kids, you can put some time into yourself and have energy and not feel run down all the time. And so for me, my market is a different thing. And so that's something I love about coaching, is that you really can tailor not only who you speak to, but what you offer people. I mean, I would say a lot of people say, like, in business, you shouldn't talk about politics, which I kind of agree with that. But definitely they say, religion, you shouldn't talk about. Well, I talk about that a lot, and because that's me. That's me, and that's my market, and that's who is going to connect with me. And it's almost like what's that thing you couldn't hold back if you tried to hold it back? If you tried not to talk about how much you love the show The Bachelor, like, you just wouldn't be authentic to yourself. Well, then talk about it, because you're going to attract other Bachelor loving people. Same thing for me. I couldn't hold back talking about my journey through the perspective of God being involved if I tried to. And so I've let myself do that, and that has formed who is attracted to getting help from me. And just so I think you guys get that. So I will go through what coaching is, what coaching is not, how we actually logistically help people, and then a couple other things. And then I'll show you just at the end a visual of like different costs and stuff, in case anybody who watches this is a visual person. So what coaching is essentially, like I said, you are stepping into a track or a set of like train tracks for accountability, for you to have accountability for your journey, as well as then to invite people onto that same set of tracks and go, here, let me help you stay accountable. So it's basically heightened accountability. It's incredible community. I cannot tell you, like, hands down, I have amazing community outside of coaching. I have amazing friends, amazing church community. But somehow when I go through stuff, a lot of times it's my coach sisters basically that I call on first just to talk through stuff with, because they really are an amazing community for me. And so we're really just people sharing our journey, letting that inspire others. And then when people relate to us and feel safe with us, then we can kind of talk through with them, like, okay, well, what are your goals? What do you struggle with? What do you need? What has been lacking every time you try to get healthy before? Because most people have tried to get healthy before and it hasn't worked. And so we get to take that relational stance and really figure out with each person, like, what do they really need? And then do our best to provide that for them. What coaching is not, you don't have to have certifications of, like, you don't have to be a nutritionist. You don't have to be a certified trainer, because we're not doing any of that. Like, all of that, all those things are made by professionals. These programs that we recommend to people are made by professionals. They've already figured out, what different body types, like weight brackets, what they should be eating. They've already figured out the workout programs on what days you should do legs and arms and back and buys. Like, they've figured all of that out. We just get to be the supporters. We just get to be the one who's there for them every day and goes, hey, I see you. I love you. I care about you. I believe in you. You can do this. Oh, you slipped this weekend? Hey, guess what? It's okay. Like, I slipped too. We're going to start again tonight. We're going to start again tomorrow. Just that, having that community, at least for me, was really influential to see that when I slip, it does not have to mean I'm now quitting for the next 6 months. That's how I had always done things, was like, crap, like I ruined everything. I was going solid for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then I messed up over the weekend. Now I ruined it. So I might as well just quit for 6 months and then try again. Like that's what I did every time. And I think that's what most people do. And so being in a community of people where you would see a woman slip up for 2 days and then she'd say, all right, I missed the last 2 days, but it's Monday and I'm here again. It was like mind blowing for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to quit. Is this a joke? And so it just really shifted things for me. But so that kind of touched on it, but I'll say it, I'll kind of fluff that out. So how we actually help people. When someone comes and they buy this program, I mentioned that we support them through it. We've got a couple of different forms, different ways that you can actually support people through the programs. The most popular ways are Facebook groups. And then now there's an option to do it via app. You can download, it's a free app that Beachbody has made. And so either way, it's a space where it's private. People are able to share their goals, their struggles, but then the main thing is they check in every day. So they check in and say whether they did their workout, how the nutrition's going. They can ask questions like, I mean, it's all the normal stuff that you run into when you're trying to get healthy, except you're there doing it by yourself and you have no idea how to get out of it. So you try to Google stuff and then by the end of 10 minutes, you're discouraged and you want to quit. And so in this community, you can come on and go, okay, wait, like, does it count if I add such and such into my shake? Or, I missed yesterday. Should I double up my workout today? Things that people usually leave people feeling kind of, just like they're lacking knowledge. And so it discourages them. They have that community around them. So they check in every day. And really that's where we get to decide, like, what else do I want to toss into my group? Like, do I care a lot about, for example, do I care a lot about encouraging people through scriptures? Great. Then that's going to be a part of my challenge groups because I say so, because I'm the coach and that's who I attracted and that's who I wanted to work with anyways. And so you can do that as a part of your group if that's a passion of yours. Or if your market is homeschool moms, like you can add a daily encouragement for homeschool moms of like, this is really hard, but we're going to get through it, or, different things. You get to create kind of the spice or the culture of what you're going to offer people in your group. So yeah, that's how we support people. We see them through their program. Before their program, we give them tips of like, hey, this is some stuff you may not be foreseeing. Like if you've got junk food in your work desk, maybe you want to get rid of that because that's going to be really hard on day 2 when you're craving sugar, like things that people aren't thinking about. We kind of scope the land for them before and give them tips to set them up for success. Then we check in with them every day, encourage them. And then we don't leave them hanging after their program. Like we're just team for life now. On my team, once you're in the group, you don't get kicked out after that 21 days. Like I actually want you to have a healthy lifestyle, not just the 21 days. So that's more logistically how we actually support people. I'm going to go in here and let's see. So I'll just touch on a couple little pinpoints and then I'll give you some visuals of the more just like factual stuff that I know people wonder about. There's a lot of benefits to coaching. You guys have probably seen me post about traveling and obviously the accountability and the income I touched on. But I would say probably my top like biggest blessing I've gotten from this, which I touched on a little bit, was that I used to be a quitter. I'd never actually stuck with my health journey before. And so this, whether you love your job or not, I think it's pretty normal that jobs, basically it's like job, family are priority, and you, especially for women, we come last. And it's almost selfish to like want to put some time into yourself, or we feel selfish even if we shouldn't. This is literally a job that goes, no, like that's the first thing you have to do. You have to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, all that other stuff falls apart. Like if you don't have energy, if you can't get up out of bed, if you are sick or depressed or whatever, how are you going to take care of your kids? Or how are you going to show up to that job and honor that position and do well in that job position? So this is the first job that I've ever had that was like, no, you're first priority. And so for me, to go from literally never sticking to any health attempt for longer than 3 weeks to now be over 2 years and be consistent with just a healthy lifestyle. I still eat a donut. I'll still go out and have a beer or whatever. But this has taught me lifestyle. And I really don't think For me personally, I don't think I would have been able to stick with it, the lifestyle consistently if I weren't a coach. Just for me, I care a lot about the integrity of my word. And so when I went and said, I'm a coach, I'm going to help you, I'll be here next month and next year, like I'm in this, I cared a lot about not bailing on that. Like I just care a lot about my integrity. And so that kind of held me to it. And there's obviously been times when I don't want to work out and don't want to check into a group or don't want to eat healthy, but that deeper lying commitment to not being a quitter anymore, and being held accountable as a coach and having 30 other women who are like, you know, they're going to notice if the coach doesn't show up. So that for me has been like kind of the golden key that has kept me consistent for myself, for my own health journey. And so everything that you need to know as far as how to coach, just the logistic stuff that I think is so mysterious to people. There's literally no one comes into the business or into coaching knowing how to coach. There's no like pre-course that you need to go through. And so everything that can make you a successful coach, you're going to learn it along the way. You're going to learn stuff and then you're going to share stuff. So same if you're starting with your health journey as at the time that you become a coach. Some people are already super healthy and then they become a coach. Some people have 150 pounds to lose and they become a coach to hold themselves accountable to it and to show other people who have 150 pounds to lose that it's possible. So either way, you're going to be learning new things about how to handle your healthy lifestyle, your nutrition, your workouts, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be sharing about that. Though that's all content for you to post about. It's literally your life. Your life is your content. And to me, that's very freeing that I don't have to come up with like salesy pitches to get people on board. I just get to be me and share about it. And that's what does the job for me. So kind of the first big thing is being a product of the product, essentially using the programs, using the products. You don't have to, if you're like an avid CrossFitter or you love going to the gym or you love running, never would I say you have to quit those things, because those things are like, if you're a CrossFitter, you're probably going to attract and connect with CrossFitters. Or if you're a runner, you're going to have that bond with other runners. So never stop those things, but you definitely want to start to develop a relationship with the legitimacy of these things too, so that, because when someone comes to you and they want help and they connect with you, maybe because you're a mom or because you love fashion or you love the Bible, whatever it is, not everyone's going to be as disciplined as you to go to the gym or to run or to do CrossFit. And so they've connected with you on some personal level. They're not disciplined enough to make themselves go for a 6 a.m. run, but you can set them up with a system that's a 30-minute workout they can do in their house. You know, all of it's worked out for them, that you yourself have tried out. And you can say, no, really, this is a great program. I've tried it. This will be easier for you than doing the CrossFit that I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it basically puts tools in your hands to be able to help people who have a lot of barriers and excuses to get them to whatever it is they're wanting. We're never going to assume that everyone wants to lose weight. You get to kind of fish that out from people. Like, is this about weight for you? Is this about mood? Is this about fitting into a certain clothes size? Is this about your energy levels? Like, what do you really want out of this? And then you have these tools as a coach, these programs that have been professionally made to hand to people to help them get there. And so you're going to learn about how to run challenge groups. You don't have to figure that out on your own. You're actually, if you were to come in, you would be a part of my challenge group. So you'd be able to see like, okay, how has Sophie run her groups? What is the kind of the goal for group energy? Like, you would apprentice essentially in my group to kind of learn from me. And then you can, if you have people who want to get involved, you can add them to my group as you're starting off, so that you don't have to like be thrown out into the water and figure it out and be all on your own. You add them to my group, I will coach them, and you'll kind of apprentice and learn, how do I interact with people? How do I help people and keep them on track, and lead really by example. I by no means am like I'm not a super fit, I'm not a fitness model in my group. Like, when I go into my group and check in, it's like, I really did not want to work out today, but I did it. And I'm just so proud that I did it. Like, it's just real life accountability. And I think people really value that. So you don't have to overnight become perfect by any means. Actually, if you try to be perfect, you're going to lose the connection with people. So really just being yourself and being honest about your struggles, and why you're doing it, why you're sticking with it, that's what's going to make you more successful. Social media, you get training on all of that. You don't have to know how to run social media. Honestly, I feel like, I've never said this before, but I feel like really what you need to be a good coach is just like basic social skills. Like, I think one thing I see people do wrong when they become a coach is like throw their brain out the window and they're like, I'm a coach now. I have to talk like a robot and just try to push sales on people. Like, no, just keep talking like yourself. Keep talking about your real struggles. And just let your heart and your learnings and the things that you're being adventurous and courageous enough to take on, let those things be known by others, known to the eyes of others, and it'll attract people into the whole journey with you. So really just basic social skills of like, hey, if someone said this to me, would it turn me off? Like, you guys know what I mean? So we've all gotten those messages on Facebook of like, hey, I'm a Mary Kay consultant. Just wanted to know if you need makeup. Like, no, I don't. I don't. Like, basically having the social skills to know not to add someone to an eyelash group without asking them on Facebook. Yeah. And then one other quick thing I'll touch on, because I know that people wonder about it, but they feel silly asking about it, but it's in the back of their heads because it was in the back of my head. I'm a skeptic. So everything I see, I'm always like, no, that ain't real. That's not real. Somebody's lying about something. And so I wondered if this was like a pyramid scheme. And so I can dispel that whole worry for you. It's not a pyramid scheme. The whole concept of a pyramid scheme is that like you basically, you can just sign people up for something, and it's kind of like you pay $300 to join. And then if you get 3 other people to pay $300 to join, then you get to travel across the world. I don't know, just like this weird thing, but there's never actually a product delivered. And so like I mentioned before, people are buying a product. They're either going to buy it through you or they're going to buy it through Beachbody's website. It doesn't really matter. The people are going to buy these things anyways. It's just a matter of, do we want to set them up with support to actually have success with it? And then Beachbody compensates you a commission. You make commissions off of people buying through you. And so you can't, with Beachbody, you cannot have any success without actually helping people. So like I mentioned, you're not going to get any money for signing someone up. If any of you were to sign up as a coach tonight, I'm not going to make anything from that. I don't benefit from just signing people up. And I love that about this business. I don't want any part of something that's a matter of just like, I don't know, just taking advantage of people. If I'm going to have success based off of something, I want it to be because I actually helped change someone's life and empower them, support them, love on them. And so, like I said, you don't make anything for just signing people up. It's all based upon how much you help people. And as far as like, if you think of a pyramid structure, there's no pyramid structure as far as like, so Sophie was a coach first. She was a coach before Ashley. And so Sophie is going to make millions of dollars and Ashley will never be able to catch up to her. That's not it at all. If Ashley helps more people, if Ashley loves on people better, if she connects better with people through her posts, if she's more diligent and more consistent every day with showing up and responding to people's questions, Ashley's going to make more money than me. It has nothing to do with seniority. It's all about how much you're committed to helping people, really. So yeah, not a pyramid scheme. And then I think that's all that I need. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything crucial. Yeah. So I'll take you guys through a couple of, I'm going to try to share my screen. And I'm borrowing someone's Mac. And so it's really slow. So hopefully this doesn't take forever to show you guys. Okay, desktop. Okay, let's see. I can't see you guys though. Hopefully. If it's working, you should be able to see my screen, but I can't see you to see if you're able to see it. Just one second. My Mac's moving slowly, of course. All right, I might need to. Okay. If you guys cannot see it, if one of you can tap on the bottom of your screen and click the little microphone and unmute yourself to tell me if you can't see it, hopefully.
No, can't see it.
Oh, you cannot. Thank you for telling me. Cool.
Nope. Yep, no problem.
Let's see. I'm so glad you said something. But you're still on the call, which is good. It means I did not lose you. Let's see. Oh, this is annoying. Where is my Zoom screen now? Oh, there she is. Why is this happening? Now you can't see my...
It's saying that you started to share your screen.
Ooh, it's just taking that long. Oh my gracious, great balls of fire. Okay, I think it's popping.
There we go.
Holy mother of pearl, that took forever. Thank you so much for telling me what was going on that end.
Yep.
You can see the 3 types of coaching now. So, like I mentioned, I came in to coaching for the discount. And so it's totally up to you guys if you're like, yeah, you know what, I've used Beachbody stuff before. I really want the discount. I don't really know that I want to actually sell anything. Probably not. Totally fine. You would basically be a discount coach. And then there's hobby coaches who, same thing, they want the discount. They maybe want some heightened accountability. So maybe they're going to post a little bit about it publicly, but they're not like, I don't know, aggressively pursuing like helping a lot of people on a consistent basis. And so there, maybe if a friend or family member asks about it, then they'll refer them or give them the link to buy something. Because when you're coach, you get personalized links to everything. So if someone were to come to you and say, I want P90X, you'd have a personalized P90X link that is going to link that sale to you. And so maybe they're going to, give that link to anybody who asks them, their friends and family. Then they'll make a 25% commission, but they're not really going hard after it on a consistent level. And then there's career coaches. So I went from a discount coach to a career coach pretty quickly once I realized, oh, I don't have to be salesy. I can just be myself. But not everyone does that. And there's no pressure. It's you set the tone. Like whatever you want is what I'm going to help you. If you were to tell me, Sophie, I want to make enough to be able to afford Shakeology every month, or I want to cover my grocery bill, or I have $100,000 in debt that I want to pay off in the next 2 years. Like whatever you tell me, that's what I would help you to map out how to do that. So a career coach is someone who obviously gets the commission, gets the accountability, the commission and the discount. They've got the heightened accountability, but then they're also getting benefits of traveling. If you guys follow any of my posts, you've seen I've traveled a lot with coaching. I guess in 2 years, four tropical trips already, which is crazy for me. I'd only traveled for missions. And so the idea of traveling for fun and that like, oh my goodness, God can actually just like me having like pleasure. Like I don't have to perform and like do noble things. It's wild to me. And to get to treat, like I took my best friend on the first trip and I took another best friend on another trip. And so that's just a sweet treat to have as a result of like being learning to get healthy and helping other people do the same. It's crazy. We earn bonuses. And so I think there's another slide that I'll take you guys through that in a second. You can be a career coach and do that part-time or full-time. You don't have to be a full-time career coach. You can do it part-time. Like I mentioned, not everyone hates their job. Like maybe you love being a teacher, you love teaching, or you love nursing, but you just know that your teaching or nursing job is never going to pay enough for you to pay off your debt or to buy that house or to take your kids on a trip. Like you just know, yeah, I love my job, but it doesn't pay enough. And so for some people, they do it part-time, but to really make those lifestyles possible that they want for themselves and their families. So how we actually earn money, I alluded to, we make commissions. So we make commissions ranging from 25% to 40%. Usually it's about a 25% commission. That's like the base level of commissions that you make, depending on the kind of purchase. And it's intricate. I won't bog your mind down with that now. But so we make commissions off of anything that anyone buys through you. And then you make bonuses based on basically how successful are the people that you're mentoring, how successful are they? So like I mentioned, if someone were to sign up to become a coach, I don't make anything from that. The only way I start to make bonuses is if I take in a coach and I actually teach you. I'm there with you in the trenches every day and I show you how do you communicate your heart over social media? How do you connect with people? How do you help people in one-on-one messages? How do you help people in a group? Like I've got 2 years already figuring this out and failing and trying and failing and succeeding and trying again. So my hope for anyone that becomes a coach is that you just get on my shoulders. I hand to you what I've taken 2 years to figure out, and you can just get on my shoulders and have that success right away. Not obviously I'm not selling a pipe dream that you're going to make $1,000 a week in your first day. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But the things that I've done that have gotten me to that place, the habits, the daily habits, the ways that I communicate with people, that's all stuff that I want to hand to you so that you can just not make the same mistakes that other people make. And so, for example, when I first started coaching, I was making maybe a couple $100s a week. I mean, after a month or two, was making a couple $100s a week. And that was all I was making. Now, after 2 years, I still only make a couple $100s a week from commissions, from things that people are buying through me. But as I mentioned, my paychecks are anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a week. So that means that gap of money, all of that is from bonuses. All of that is from me helping other coaches be successful, which means, one, I know how to help you. And two, just to kind of give you guys examples of like where the earning potential is. You're not going to have to be a sales machine. Again, I am not a salesperson. It's fine if you are. That's a good gift. You're not going to be timid to kind of close the deal with people. So it's fine if you are, but you don't have to be a salesperson. I personally love that I can create a stable, abundant income for myself and my daughter. As a single mom, I can do that without having to sell. I never want to sell so much to so many people that I don't even have enough hours in the day to actually be there for them and talk to them and support them and check in on them. So I want to keep my sales kind of as small as I possibly can so that I can actually be present to those people. And so I love that I can create that abundant income without overwhelming myself on sales and just kind of having this spinning wheel that I can never get out of. I'm able to create a bigger income by just passing down what I'm doing, teaching, mentoring other people who love to help people how to do what I'm doing. So it's kind of hard to understand, but so the main ways that you make money is based off of commission and bonuses. And then you also make, the last column explains, you make bonuses based off of ranking. And long story short, basically in the coaching kind of system, there's like, there's ranks, kind of ladder rungs. And they give quarterly bonuses. Every 3 months, they give bonuses based off of what rank you're at. And so your quarterly bonus can be $600 or it can be a $50,000 bonus for that quarter. And so you literally get to determine, like, I would like to make a $50,000 bonus every quarter. And so, okay, then your goal is going to be to get to the rank that earns you that. Or if you're like, it would be nice to make a $1,000 bonus every 3 months, then that's the rank you want to get to. So that's another way that people earn money, or that you can earn money as a coach. Money's always like super, at least for me and my personality type, it's kind of weird to talk about, but I know that people wonder, like, is this real? Do you actually make money through this? Yes, my rent is being paid by it, and so is my stomach being filled by it. So it's real. Let's see. Sign up options. There's kind of two ways that people come into coaching. So the main way is with a challenge pack. And a challenge pack is basically, it's like our bulletproof, fail-proof, success-proven package that we set people up with. So it's like, we don't want them to just have a nutrition plan and not get their bodies moving. We don't want them to just work out and not be feeding their bodies well. And we don't want them to be doing any of that alone. So we set them up with a challenge pack, which is going to cover them on nutrition, fitness, and support. And so with a challenge pack, a person gets a workout program. They get 30 days of Shakeology, which is like our, oh, look at that, a hand raised.
Don't you like that? That's so cool.
What can I answer?
Can you use the Shakeology when you're nursing?
Great question.
Do you know?
Yes, I do. Yes. So I nursed my daughter. I was exclusively breastfeeding I started when she was 4 months, and then I exclusively breastfed until she was 1, and then partially breastfed until she was almost 2. And so, yes, you can. So Shakeology, it's all natural. There's nothing artificial in it. There's no artificial sweeteners, coloring, anything. It's literally, they just took whole foods, roots and grasses and vegetables and fruits, and they literally just ground them up, and that's what they put into a bag. And something that I love about our company is on so many levels, they just care a lot about integrity, which I mentioned is a big thing for me too. They are so hell-bent on integrity that down to the soil that they grow the Shakeology ingredients in. If the soil that the ingredients are grown in has been compromised, they will not allow it to be put in Shakeology. So it's a company that really genuinely cares. Like, they're not putting soy in it. Like, they're not putting easy chemicals into this stuff. It's literally all ground up whole foods, superfoods to boost your energy, to help your organs function the way that they're supposed to. And so that's what we set people up with, to do that in tandem with their workout program. And then they get a meal plan or a meal guide to teach them, like, how should you actually be eating to get your results and to feel energy from the inside out. But yes, it's safe. I always say you can definitely take it to your doctor and ask them. I've never once had a pregnant mom or a nursing mom come back and say that their doctor said no. Even people with dairy allergies, we've got vegan options. Usually doctors are like, my patient wants to eat something this healthy. Absolutely, you can. Like, they're not drinking Coca-Cola. Absolutely. So yeah, a challenge pack comes with a workout program and 30 days of Shakeology. And then you also get a 30-day free trial of On Demand, which, if you're not familiar with On Demand, it's basically like our Netflix. It's preloaded with a bunch of programs, especially like those old time ones like Insanity, P90X, Turbo Fire, really popular proven programs. Those are all preloaded on there. And so you'll get 30 days with your challenge pack to kind of trial that, see if you like it. That way, especially if you're traveling a lot, like, it's annoying to lug around DVDs and a DVD player. And so you can just, anywhere you can get online, you can stream through your phone, you can do your workouts that way. And then it's optional to keep it. You don't have to keep it. Most people do. Most people and most coaches keep it just because it's that valuable and it's super cheap. It's like $40 every 3 months, not every month, every 3 months. So it's like $12 a month basically. And so when you get a challenge pack, if you do it at the same time as becoming a coach, they waive that coach fee. So you don't have to pay the $40 coach fee to sign up. Challenge packs usually range from $140 to $205. Almost always, the programs I'm setting my girls up with are in the $140 to $160 range. It's very rare that they're like, I need that $100 81. Like, I want usually they fall in the $140, $160 range. And they're able to kind of get all the help that they need from that. And so whether you are coming in just with a challenge pack to help yourself, or you want to come in with a challenge pack to help yourself and do it as a coach, it's literally the same price. So it kind of doesn't make sense not to do the coach thing unless you're just like really against it, which obviously if you're watching this call, you're not really against it. And then the other option is to come in without a challenge pack. You can just pay the $40 to become a coach. I'll be honest, if you don't have a program or Shakeology, it's going to be really hard to authentically talk about how this really is amazing and how it can really help you. But for some people, they've already purchased the challenge pack in the past, and so they want to just now do the coach sign up so they can pay the $40. They can actually pay the $40 and then request to have it refunded. There's just no way in the system for them to register a coach without doing that $40 fee. But so those are the two ways. 99% of people do it with the challenge pack when they come in. And then what does it cost to actually be a coach? And so I know that there was somebody who wanted to get on the call tonight who is going to have to watch the recording, who's military family. So military families, active duty and veterans, or spouses of active duty military personnel get their monthly fees waived. So yeah, that's whether for you or for other people who you know who might want to get involved. That's an awesome way that they give thanks to people for their service. But so the business fee to be a coach is a whopping life-shattering $16 a month. Not even $15.95. I heard somewhere that it's, I think, $2,000 to open up a hot dog stand to do on the side of the road, and to know that like you can literally get a 6-figure business just working out and posting little videos on Facebook or Instagram and pay $15 a month is insane to me. But yeah, it's $15 a month. And essentially what that does for you, when you become a coach, like I mentioned, you're going to have personalized links to send to people who are interested. And so that keeps that gives you all those links, keeps them all live. And then like with a lot of companies, which I don't even like to even associate, because I feel like what we do is very different than marketing, network marketing kinds of stuff. But with some companies, like, you're going to buy a bunch of Avon or Mary Kay or whatever, and then have it in your living room and hope that people will come over to a party and hopefully they'll purchase it from you. we don't deal with any payments. We don't deal with any products. We don't ship things to people. We don't do returns. We don't do refunds. We don't handle any of that customer service kinds of that end of things. The retail, I don't know what the word, inventory end of things. We literally just get to support people. We just get to work on ourselves being healthy and just love on people, support them through their own journeys. That's our only job. So I'm more than happy to pay $15.95 a month to never have to take someone's credit card, to never have to ship something to someone, to have customer service handle any complaints or any returns or any of that. So that's what that covers. And then obviously, like I mentioned, we've all seen, if you watch TV, I actually don't watch TV, but if you do, you've seen these infomercials, you've heard of these programs because they are all over the place. Now they're on the radio. I mean, they put a lot of money into advertising. So people know about these things. We get to just be that face that's familiar to them. And they go, oh, if Sophie, like I didn't believe it when I saw it on the infomercial, but if Sophie has done it, I trust her. I feel safe with her. Maybe I will try it. So we just get to be that familiar face that's kind of a walking billboard. Like, no, this isn't a scam. This is actually real. It's really working. So like I mentioned, military families do not have to pay that $15 a month fee. And then I mentioned also the club membership. That's the on-demand, that like Netflix workout kind of access that we have. It's not mandatory. You don't have to keep it. Most people do just because it's that awesome. It's only necessary once you reach a certain rank in the business, and that kind of once you reach a certain rank, you want to have the club membership to qualify you to get free leads. Free leads is basically, some people have asked about this, how do you get clients? A lot of it is from how you connect with people via social media. And I train you on all of that, how to get your face out there, your story out there, more eyes seeing what you're talking about. But another part of that is that there's a ton of people who go to just the general Beachbody website who have no association with any coach, and they buy something. Again, Beachbody knows they're going to do so much better if they have someone supporting them. So they gift those unrelated customers, they gift those to coaches who they know are actually working the business. And so every day not every day, I'll say every week I have people showing up on my client list, on my customer list, who I've never spoken to, who just happened to go to the Beachbody website and they said, hey, that person's going to do better if I hook them up with Sophie and Sophie can support them. And so when you get to that rank in coaching where that's something that you're wanting, then you'll want to do the club membership. But until then, it's not required. And like I said, it's just $40 every 3 months. Breaks down to about $12 a month. So yeah, that I think covers the slides that I wanted to share. So I'll end the screen share once. So if you decide to become a coach, just to kind of take away any of the mystery surrounding that, I'm going to try to stop the screen share, but it might take 5 hours. You sign up as a coach, you're going to get a welcome email from me where I'll kind of say like, hey, welcome. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to add you into our coach group. I'm going to send you, I have it all laid out for you where it's like, here's how you find your links. Here is, here's the training on how to do social media. Here's a training on how to post without being salesy. Got all of that laid out for you. So you're going to get a welcome email that's going to immediately put you into that training. You don't have to go through that training in one night. You don't have to go through it in 1 month. You literally take it at your own pace. Everybody's different. Some people are like, no, I want to quit my job at the end of next month. So like, let's do this. Other people are like, I just want to make enough to, buy my daughter a bike. That's all I want. Great. There's no pressure, but the training is there and it's available to you. I'm always available to you. After we get off of this call, I'm going to be getting onto a call with the coaches that I do mentor and answering their questions and helping motivate them and steer them in the right direction. And so I'm always available to you guys once you do become a coach. Let's see. Like I said, orientation videos. I walk you through how to find all of your links. You've got team calls, like I just mentioned, every week. Then the company puts on national calls every single week where they bring on the celebrity trainers and just different coaches who give their tips on all the things that we're all trying to figure out. Like I said, you're not expected to come into this and know how to do it. You're going to take things that you learn from other successful coaches and put your own spin on it, put your own story on it, connect with the people who are authentically like you. And I think that covers it. So I don't know who's on the phone, but person on the phone or Aaron, if you guys have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask them now. You also don't have to if you don't have anything to ask. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, I think I'm good. That was really good. That was very helpful.
Awesome.
So thanks.
I'm so glad you got on. I have to thank you for, I'm not crazy. You sent me the text on my birthday, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was me.
I cannot tell you. Like, I sent you a bunch of cry faces. I was not kidding. Like, I literally broke out.
Aww.
It was this
Aww.
very timely word. Very much what I needed to hear in that moment. And
That's really cool.
Thank you enough for that. So thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome. Thank you for sharing everything tonight. It was very helpful just to get, especially the last part was very helpful. It was just kind of some things that were in my mind that were just like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, good. All right.
It's a lot of information and it's like this big mysterious thing. Like, okay, people are like they post videos on Facebook and then they run these groups and then they make money. Like, how does this, it's weird. It's very serious, but it's really not. Like, I'm such a skeptic if I'm like, no, this is legitimate, you know?
Yeah, right. No, yeah. And it's just helpful to know, like even with like, I'll send you videos on the tutorials and stuff like that. And like, that was helpful. And so, yeah, it was really good. Yeah. So
awesome.
Now I'm just kind of waiting to figure out finances. So get that in order and then we'll.
I hear you. I was like, yeah, sign me up for the discount. And then she was like, great, here's the link. And I was like, I'm going to have to save some money because I'm broke. But it has been.
Exactly.
For me, from the beginning, my goal was to never be in the red. Like, I didn't want to be losing money. And so my goal was, from the beginning, was to cover the business fee and cover for myself to afford Shakeology so I could get those nutrients in my body. And that's my goal that would be my goal for you too, is like to help guide you so that you're not in the red, that you're in the green from the beginning. I was able to do it. I can help you do that the same, because I don't know. That's what I would want.
Who was like your first people to sign up? Like, just kind of curious.
Yeah. So my first people, well, I kind of did it in two different ways. So I wasn't really sure that I wanted to coach yet. So what I did, I knew that I needed accountability. And so I actually text messaged a couple of friends and I basically just told them like, hey, I don't know if this would interest you at all, but I am freaking tired of being exhausted and run down, and something has to change. So I'm going to try this 21-day like workout program and nutrition plan. But I know myself and I know I'll quit if I don't have someone holding me accountable to it. That's like, do you want to do that with me? I don't know if that interests you at all, but I thought we could partner up. We could check in every day. Even though my coach put me into an accountability group where I could have done that, I wanted to do it with people who I knew. And I wanted to test out, like, could I really do this coaching thing? So I reached out to, I think, like 7 girlfriends, and so those were the first kind of people that jumped in and did it with me. And I offered the same thing, the coach discount to them as well. A couple of them took, to that. And then the other thing was, after I did the 21 days, well, first of all, I did the 21-day program and I went all in. I was like, I'm going to not cheat one single time, because if I get awesome results, that's going to help me to attract more people. And so when I finished that program, I shared the before after pictures. I didn't have a ton of weight to lose. It wasn't the most jaw-dropping picture ever, but I shared it with my story. I talked about what I'd been through and why this was important to me, that it wasn't about the weight, it was about depression. That really spoke to people. And then it was those people who were already friends with me. I didn't really approach any of them. I just put it out there for them to see it. And so that was probably the other big, like, first start off, when people were like, oh, well, I've already, I've been following Sophie's mission trips and I trust her. I know her heart. I know she wouldn't just put her name by anything that's not real or worth it. And so that's how I started off. People, they haven't been sharing on social media. And so they don't have that trust and relationship with people who watch their story on social media. So they have to start in different ways. They have to be a little more bold and maybe message some people, or just put in a lot of work to like rekindle relationships with people, not even trying to talk about health and fitness or getting someone to buy something. Like, they just have to start up relationships. I had actually deleted my Facebook account before I started coaching. So I did have community, but then I really cut it all off because I was humiliated after the divorce and whatnot. So regardless of like what your situation is coming in, I've seen a ton. I've got a ton of, kind of coach sisters and brothers that, whatever your situation is, we can sit down and go, okay, so what do you have in your favor? What do you not have working for you? Okay, this is how it will work best for you to kind of start to bring in some people who are interested, some people who want what you have. You're never going to have to force yourself on people who don't want it. We're really just trying to find the people who need what we're offering. I think my computer froze. Oh, can you hear me? Darn it.
Kind of slowed a little bit, so I don't know if you can still hear me.
Oh, there you are. Sorry, I lost you for a second.
Yeah, it kind of went jarbled and stopped, but now it's back.
Sweet. So yeah, I don't know if
Cool.
the end of that was cut off, but hopefully that answered your question.
Sorry, I got distracted. No, that's really helpful. Yeah, okay.
Sweet.
I'm just trying to think practically. And did you post anything before you did the transformational picture that first time, or did you did you do like your journey of like, hey, I started something new?
I did, but
Okay.
I didn't come out and make any announcements. I'm starting to form some stronger opinions on this. A lot of people feel like it's necessary for them to, once they sign up as a coach, come out and say like, I am a coach now. You know, if you want to join me, join me. I won't say that that's bad, but I will say I think it matters a lot more to people for them to see you doing something consistently than it matters to them to see a title. And I feel like that kind of comes off weird. I don't know, just if I were reading that, if and they're like, I'm a coach, I'm like, oh, okay, now AKA you're going to try to sell it to me. So I never came out
exactly.
That. I just said like, I just did what was authentic for me. I was learning how to meal prep. I'd never meal prepped before. So I think I made a few posts in those 3 weeks while I was actually doing my program. It was like, I snapped a picture of my meal prep and was like, holy crap, this is so exciting. I've never done this before. This is empowering. Or like, you know, I remember posting a picture holding my baby and being like, single mom, really busy day. I still did my workout. And people, you know, just sharing the journey along the way without saying like, join me, without saying I'm a coach, come to me. Yeah, just sharing my authentic journey.
And then people came to you and said, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah. And I totally did have times where I needed to push myself out of my comfort zone. Like there were definitely times where, you know, I would see people liking my posts or commenting a lot on my posts, but never reaching out to me. And so I was like, you know what, maybe they just feel weird messaging me. So it's really awkward, but I'm just going to like talk to them and see if maybe they want to. And people would be like, oh, I'm so glad you said something. I've been wanting to say something for 6 months and I've just been too nervous. So it doesn't, I don't just wait for people to come to me. And like, that wasn't the case. Yeah. But I did find that the more authentically I shared my story, like if I stayed on a surface level, if I just talked about my weight, I didn't really attract a lot of people. But when I was bold and talked about my anxiety struggles or my depression struggles or any of that, people came to me, even if not to join my group, just to have an emotional connection. And then if down the road it became the right timing for them to do a health and fitness thing, I was the first person on their mind because we already developed relationship because I chose to be vulnerable in my posts. And a lot of people will watch for 3 months, 6 months to see if you're really going to stick around. Are you going to quit? Is it just a fad? And then they're like, I've been watching you. I still have people. I've been watching you for 2 years and I'm ready to get started. So, but yes, people will come to you if you stick with it and you're like a real vulnerable person. And then yes, there's totally putting yourself out there and being brave and starting up conversations and not letting those, like, at least fears that I have of like, people are going to think I'm annoying or people are going to think that, like, just getting rid of all of that and recognizing that what we're offering is amazing. People want it. They need it. I'm not pressuring anyone. I'm just making it available to whoever needs it, you know? So yeah. It's a good question.
Yeah. When you say that you like to help people get to the level that they are, like to pay for the product or that type of thing, what does that mean? What does that entail? Just kind of like, you need to do this, or like, what does that mean to like get you to a certain spot?
So if you were to say, Sophie, I want to be able to afford my Shakeology without losing any money, I can tell you how many challenge packs you would need to sell every month to make that happen. And then I can break down for you, like, in order to actually sell that many challenge packs, you're probably going to have to talk to at least this many people because not everyone's going to say yes. Not everyone's going to feel ready or have the money. Or if you were to come to me and say, Sophie, I want to retire my husband. I want to bring my husband home from the military, or I want to pay off $20,000 in debt, I would be able to help you reverse engineer and say, okay, then it's going to be important for you to reach diamond rank because diamonds make the most money from bonuses. And how you reach diamond rank is by doing this, 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 and this. And you're going to need to sell this many packs consistently every month. And then you're going to want to help your coaches sell this many. Like, I can lay out for you kind of what's necessary to reach whatever goal is.
Okay. So you just kind of break it down to like, okay, this equals this many people that you need to have contact with. Okay, that makes sense.
Otherwise it feels like just kind of shooting in the dark. You're like, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Is this actually going to work? And so I'm kind of available there for you to go, Sophie, I've been posting, but no one's really interested. And so I can come and look at your posts and go, okay, no. Okay. So maybe be a little more consistent. Maybe word things a little bit more like this, and I can give you those pointers to get you there. And yeah, kind of like fill in the mysterious blanks of like, am I even doing the right things? Beachbody does have a lot of really helpful kind of like grid lines to show you like, if you're not doing these things, it's going to hurt you. If you're doing these things every day, you're going to build a business. So they've got that system in place. But when you come in, it's really confusing. You're just kind of like, there's so much information. I don't even know what to start with. So I'm the one that's there and is like, this is what you need to focus on in your first. Like, breathe. Don't worry about that rank yet. Just worry about sharing your journey. Like, I can kind of guide for you, like, what are those things you should be paying attention to from Beachbody, because they do list for you what's necessary to build a business.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's really helpful, because it would be, I mean, if I did it, I would want to do it well. Mm-hmm. But there's always the aspect of like, how much would I need to do just to cover costs, which I would plan on doing more than that, but having that information would be super helpful.
Absolutely.
So yeah, good to know. So, but like, so most of what you do is with people that already joined, right? Like kind of like coaching and stuff like that.
People who've already
Or is that kind of half and half? People that are coaching underneath you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my job is now pretty much two parts. So it's like because the whole passion that brought me into this was my own accountability for my health and helping other people get that initial breakthrough. So I'm always going to incorporate that. So that's kind of half of my job, is helping people get their health journey started or continuing on their health journey. I still coach people who started with me a year and a half ago and they don't want to coach. They just want to be healthy. So I still support them in challenge groups. You'll still see me post about like, challenge group available next month or whatever. And then the other part of my job, is mentoring other coaches how to do what I do as coaching challengers. It's a two-part job.
Cool. I know you have another call to get to, but this has been really cool. So thanks.
9:15, so you're totally fine.
Oh, okay.
You've asked really good questions. Whoever watches this recording, like, you've thought of things I never would have thought to address. So this is perfect.
I've been thinking a lot about it.
I know when you said you wanted to come onto the call, I was like, he's been sitting on this one. She's been thinking about this for a while. Yeah.
I have, yes.
That's awesome.
So I've been tossing stuff around, but you've been, really helpful. Like you said, I kind of feel like the blanks have been filled in a lot more in my mind, where I can I was like trying to think through, okay, practically how is this going to work out? And I just kept running into like a wall of like, I don't know what that looks like. So, just kind of really helpful. So I love the aspect of helping people like that. Just like, yay, I want to do that. Yeah. And I want to do it well. I don't want it to be like, I'm all about the product. So, so
I'm so happy that's your heart, because that's our heart. And that's what leads to the most success. If you genuinely care about that, it's going to show.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. Well, thank you for your time. And it's been fun chatting with you.
Anyone who's watching this recording, thank you so much for watching. Please reach out to me if you have questions that I didn't address here. Same for you, Erin. If you think of anything else, you can reach out to me. If you want to get started, let me know, and I can kind of give you those first steps that will get you added to the group, get everything started. We can talk through challenge pack programs. If you're wanting to choose what program to get started with, just let me know and I'll get you started. All right, guys. Bye. Thanks for coming on.